R. Ford, a legacy of service.
The Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum is in downtown Grand Rapids, but just about anywhere you go in the area, you'll see the president's name. There's the Gerald R. Ford International Airport, the Ford Federal Building, the Ford Fieldhouse at the Community College, one of the major highways, the Ford Freeway. The Boy Scout Council here is also named after Gerald Ford, where young Jerry got his start in community service and never stopped. Gerald R. Ford grew up in Grand Rapids, met his wife and married in Grand Rapids, and raised his family here. It's also Gerald and Betty Ford's final resting place.
They knew and they wanted to come back here. It was a special place for them and in their hearts, and they loved, both of them loved Grand Rapids and came back a lot in the post-presidency.
One, go.
Whether it was the grand opening of a new building or to celebrate his birthday, President Ford never forgot his roots.
President Ford loved Grand Rapids, and Grand Rapids loved President Ford.
Jerry Ford was a star athlete in high school and at the University of Michigan. He got his first taste of politics as a campaign volunteer. But during World War II, he enlisted in the Navy, where he was a decorated lieutenant commander of an aircraft carrier. Just before his death in 2006, Secretary of State Donald Rumsfeld visited President Ford at his California home to give him the news that an aircraft carrier would be named after him.
President Ford was so delighted to have him and to know that was happening. It was just a month later that he passed away, so he knew that this was happening. He was just so pleased.
Gerald Ford died on December 26, 2006, and the city went into mourning. Flowers, candles, cards, and signs covered the grounds outside his museum. His casket returned to Grand Rapids and was displayed at the museum for public viewing on January 2, 2007. More than 50,000 people waited in line in the cold.
The people all night long is stretched for blocks, and the family members came over and shook hands and talked to people. It was all night long. Thousands and thousands of people came over to share their respects and be part of this tribute to President Ford.
At his funeral on January 3rd, dignitaries came to Grand Rapids from all over the country. Donald Rumsfeld spoke at the service, as did his good friend, President Jimmy Carter, who defeated President Ford, thanks in part to Ford's pardon of Richard Nixon. Just 6 months before his death, President Ford asked President Carter for a special favor.
Well, I was very honored to come here, for his funeral and give the main eulogy.
President Ford has nieces and nephews who live in Grand Rapids, and the Ford children visit every year. Just last week, Susan Ford Bales was at her father's burial site to commemorate his 104th birthday. She's also the sponsor of the Gerald R. Ford and has been involved in every aspect of its planning and construction.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And I thought, why do I want to sit back and watch it from afar? Why not get in there and get involved, which is what my dad would have done.
And is anxiously awaiting the commissioning of the Gerald R. Ford.
But I really want to see her deployed. I really want to see her in action and not tied up to a pier. That's what I really want to see, and that's what I'm excited about.
The motto of the ship is integrity at the helm, and how appropriate that is, that a ship that's helping preserve our freedoms will be out there carrying President Ford's name.
A celebration will be held here at the museum, and the community can watch the commissioning live on a Jumbotron. It's just another way to honor the man who will always be so important to the people of Grand Rapids.
And he was there, and I called him Mr. Ford. He said, "Call me Jerry." I said, "Call me Bill." That's how we got started.
Bill Whitehurst knew Gerald R. Ford. They served together in the House. Then something called Watergate happened.
Well, what would you want people to know about the man, Gerald Ford?
His decency, right man, right time. We had this terrible scandal. Here's a man who comes in, who had been briefly as vice president, but a long career in the House of Representatives. He was minority leader, head of his own party, and therefore someone who brought to the White House what was needed. Restoration in the respect for the presidency, and Gerald Ford did that.
After the turmoil following Richard Nixon's resignation, the former Virginia 2nd District Representative Whitehurst says that Ford gave the country something it needed, just when it needed it the most.
There wasn't an ounce of pretense in Jerry Ford, none. and we all just had great respect for him. It's good to me, put me on the Armed Services Committee, so I had a personal feeling for liking him. But I recall very well when he made his first address to the Congress, and he began by saying, "I'm a Ford, not a Lincoln." And I love that statement because it meant that he, drawing an analogy between a couple of automobiles, one was very ritzy and one it's not. And that was Gerald Ford. There was nothing ritzy about him.
Unlike now, with such a partisan divide in this nation, in his day, Ford was able to reach across the aisle. Whitehurst says despite the unrest of Watergate, it was somehow a gentler time.
There wasn't a deep partisanship there's today. And I think Gerald Ford, for his part of it, contributed to it in his leadership. So having this aircraft carrier named for him is certainly very much in order. He was very much an effective leader, the right man at the right time. That's what you want a carrier to be, right there at the right time.
So what would the humble Ford think about having a 96,000-ton aircraft carrier named after himself?
I think that he would be very modest about it, certainly. He would not think it was deserving. There's no way Gerald Ford would say, gosh, of course they should have named an aircraft carrier after me. There are all kinds of presidents they could have named it for. But I think that he would be very grateful for it and would wish the ship well and those that serve on it.
Gerald R. Ford, a man for his time, and now an aircraft carrier that will serve the Navy and the nation for at least the next 50 years. She is a great source of pride to the men and women who built her and to the sailors who will operate her for decades to come. I'm Mike Gooding. Thanks for joining us.
This has been Gerald R. Ford, A Legacy of Service, produced by 13 News Now.